first in high definition from the station on your side. This is WAVY News 10.
A school bus driver attacked. We'll tell you what happened on the way home. And a crash involving another local school bus, how it ended up in a tree. Plus, the presidential bus tour makes a stop in Hampton Roads with the First Lady.
Now, this announcement is a huge deal, which is why the president's here.
Hear the plan to get more veterans and military spouses to work.
But first, a live look at Super Doppler 10 radar.
You're looking at the green. That means gray skies and rain, and a drop in temperatures is on the way.
10 on your side, Chief Meteorologist Don Slater is standing by in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center with details. Don, still feels pretty nice out there, so when's the change coming?
Well, the change is going to come around midnight, perhaps 1 o'clock in the morning, as some cooler, drier air moves on in. Until then, we still do have a chance of rain. Not much rain, but a chance of some rainfall into the area. The bulk of the rain today has been across the Outer Banks, and really the bulk of the rain in the pre-dawn hours has been across the Outer Banks. I'll show you what's been going on in terms of rainfall totals into the area. These are estimates, but around 2.5, 2.8 inches of rain across the Outer Banks. Northeast North Carolina, some of the darker green colors indicating over an inch of rain, otherwise around half an inch. Around half an inch of rain into most of the Hampton Roads cities. However, from Franklin northward on up into Isle of Wight County toward Windsor, around an inch of rain there. And you can see again some rain reaching all the way through our area. We've had at least some rain, but it hasn't been huge. Now, we're still likely to see an isolated shower or two this evening. There's the cooler, drier air. And then we got the cooler air coming up through the weekend, and we'll have many more details on this with our forecast in a few minutes.
Well, nearly 40 Norfolk students short of breath, sick to their stomachs, and with tears in their eyes. That's what some say happened at Lafayette Winona Middle School. That's where officials admit a security guard used pepper spray during a food fight. Then on your side's Melanie Woodrow spoke with the school superintendent. And Melanie, where is that security guard now?
Well, the security guard is working, but not here today at the school. Norfolk Public Schools directly hires these security guards, but it's the sheriff's office that provides them with handcuffs and pepper spray to use when lesser forms of force aren't enough. Inside Lafayette Winona Middle School, lunch is served every day. It's what was on the menu yesterday that has people still talking.
We're investigating it. We don't know all the facts at this particular point.
Just before noon, a food fight broke out in the cafeteria. Norfolk Public School Superintendent Dr. Richard Bentley says he didn't know a security guard used pepper spray to break up the fight until several hours later.
This is the first incident that I'm aware of.
Dr. Bentley says the guards are also given handcuffs.
Schools are sometimes unsafe places.
And trained on when to use both.
Did this food fight get really ugly? Help me understand how pepper spray was needed to break up a food fight.
Melanie, we're still investigating the facts. We don't have all the facts yet, okay? And it would be inappropriate for me to speak about that until we've completed our investigation.
Dr. Bentley did share the security officer policy regarding pepper spray.
We do not tolerate the use of excessive force. The minimum force necessary is ever authorized. Security officers shall never use OC spray on a person who is already compliant or in situations involving merely verbal threats or abuse.
What was your initial reaction when you heard pepper spray was used in the food fight?
I said, let's find out all the facts.
The school nurse examined students who reported being sick, and school officials called their parents. Every student's parent will be notified today.
This happened yesterday, I think 11 something. Why didn't that letter go out yesterday?
Because I think at this point what we're trying to do is investigate the facts and understand them.
And we do now have a copy of that letter. You'll be able to read it on our website, wavy.com. By the way, we found out there was surveillance video in the cafeteria. Of course, school officials will now be reviewing that surveillance video to get a better idea of exactly what happened. Tonight, new at 6, I'll have an interview with one of the students who says that he was pepper sprayed. He says the pepper spray went into his mouth, and he's just 12 years old. Reporting live in Norfolk, Melanie Woodrow, 10 on your side.
It'll be interesting to see how this food fight went down and what were the things leading up to that pepper spraying incident. Melanie Woodrow live. This story has generated more than 100 comments on our Facebook page. Christina said, I don't think it's necessary at all. Some kids who were in the cafeteria could have breathing problems. Anna agreed. Pepper spray on children? I do not think that this is okay. They should have found another method. But Chavez said, Anyone who has witnessed a food fight up close knows firsthand the chaos that ensues during one of those things. And from Kim, it's pepper spray. Yeah, it will hurt, but better than a fist, baton, taser, or a gun. It's simple and effective and a quick way to get someone's attention and bring order. What do you think? Leave your comment on our WAVY Facebook page.
Norfolk police say a student attacked a school bus driver. It happened at around 2:30 this afternoon near the intersection of Leek and Pike Streets. A police spokesperson says the Lake Taylor High School student punched the driver as kids got off the bus. The driver went to the hospital as a precaution. Norfolk schools are trying to figure out which student is responsible. A 10 on Your Side viewer sent this picture of a school bus accident to report it at WAVY.com. Newport News police say the driver passed out at around 2 this afternoon and hit a tree at the intersection of Woodside Lane and Old Fort Eustis Boulevard. There were students on the bus, but no one was hurt. Investigators believe the driver suffered some type of medical emergency.
Early morning hours of Sunday at a Virginia Beach nightclub and a fight breaks out. Now detectives are looking for someone who put a man in the hospital in critical condition. Police say he was knocked down and hit inside Club Royale Blue on Baker Road. Officers found the victim unconscious on the floor. Police say the suspect posed for this picture inside the club before the fight. If you recognize him, call the crime line.
Hampton police say a crime line tip led them to the man they say killed an airman in August. Officers arrested 23-year-old Marcus Wingate and charged him with murder. Detectives say Wingate shot and killed Richard Reddick Jr. on Doolittle Road. Reddick was stationed in South Dakota. Jobs and the promise of jobs got a rousing reception at Joint Base Langley Eustis. President Obama and the First Lady delivered that message during the Hampton stop on the presidential bus tour. 10 on Your Side's Andy Fox reports on the largest coordinated effort by the private sector to hire veterans.
Now, this announcement is a huge deal, which is why the president's here. It's huge enough for you to even be involved.
First Lady Michelle Obama has made supporting military families her issue, and today she announced the largest coordinated effort to hire post-9/11 veterans.
This commitment puts us a quarter of the way towards reaching the president's challenge to the private sector to hire or train 100,000 vets and military spouses by the end of 2013.
Just think about how many veterans have led their comrades on life and death missions by the time they were 25. That's the kind of responsibility every business in America should want to take advantage of.
One of the 24 in attendance, Senior Master Sergeant Johnny Hughes, who is retiring this year, he would qualify for one of these jobs.
And the work ethics, the leadership that I have, the loyalty, integrity, those are words that I live by.
The employment initiative would also benefit spouses of veterans.
If you can juggle the demands of raising a family while a husband or wife are at war, you can juggle any demands of any job in the United States of America.
Master Sergeant Anita Drake.
I'm glad that more companies are opening up to look at and realize the hardships that spouses have. You know, they go from base to base to base getting different jobs, and they can never have continuity moving up the ladder. So I think it's a good thing.
It's critically important for Virginia. We got more veterans than any other state, 830,000. And I've said a million times, I want those veterans to get out and stay here in Virginia. We want them here. We want them to be teachers, entrepreneurs, small business people.
Tonight at 6, one business that's hiring veterans. I'm Andy Fox, 10 on Your Side.
Tonight at 5:30, hear about the push made today during the president's visit to make Fort Monroe a national park. After President Obama left Hampton, his bus tour rolled into the Chesterfield Fire Station near Richmond to promote his American Jobs Act.
Well, we're on your side, uncovering more developments in the case of 4 disabled people, including a Norfolk man locked in a Philadelphia basement. How one suspect allegedly cashed in on their disabilities. That also new at 5:30.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and pink products seem to be on sale everywhere. 10 is on Your Side, helping you follow the money trail to charity.
And dozens of exotic animals on the loose. How police are rounding up lions, bears, monkeys, and what they now say happened to the owner. It's almost surreal. Out of the dozens of big cats, wolves, bears, other exotic animals set free overnight, only one monkey and one wolf are unaccounted for.
Police say the owner of the farm released those animals in Zanesville, Ohio before he killed himself. NBC's Andy Roshan has the latest on the wild hunt.
This is one of the big cats that we've seen, apparently hit by a car, wounded, and then put down by authorities. It's been a gruesome roundup overnight and into the day for deputies ever since Tuesday night, when they discovered menagerie mayhem.
When our officers arrived on the scene, we had approximately 1 hour to an hour and a half of daylight. As officers got out of their cruisers, there were animals running loose outside of the fenced area.
It's like Noah's Ark, like wrecking right here in Zanesville, Ohio.
The animals included Bengal tigers, leopards, lions, wolves, bears, and monkeys. Schools in the area are closed and warning signs are on the roads.
And we live next to Terry Thompson, and there's a bear and a lion out.
The Sheriff's Department says the owner of the farm, Terry Thompson, released them all and even disabled their cages to make sure they couldn't be used again. Then, Thompson committed suicide.
I honestly believe that he didn't feel like he needed to live any longer. And it's sad, it disheartens me.
But the sheriff says his department had received dozens of complaints from neighbors about the wild animals over the last 7 years. And once they were out, the sheriff says there was just no way to take them back in alive.
We are not talking about your normal, everyday house cat or dog. These are 300-pound Bengal tigers that we've had to put down.
I know some animal rights folks are going to go nuts over this. That's fine, they can do all they want to, but the sheriff did the right thing.
Authorities say Thompson had the necessary permits to own the animals, but they did not find a suicide note, so we might never know if releasing them was meant to be a final act of kindness or cruelty. Of the 48 animals released last night, all of them have been killed except for that one missing monkey. That includes 18 Bengal tigers. There were 8 exotic animals actually kept inside the farmhouse itself. They have now been shipped off to the Columbus Zoo. In Zanesville, Ohio, Andy Rosden for NBC News.
So what are Virginia's laws concerning exotic animals? 10 on Your Side did some digging, and you can hear what we found out new tonight on WAVY News 10 at 6.
Pink is popping up everywhere this month in support of breast cancer research. But where's the money from that product you buy going? We're on your side, tracking your money.
A local couple is $200,000 richer tonight. It's not the first time they've won the lottery either. Hear how President Obama helped them hit the jackpot this time.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Ribas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
If you buy Pink products to fight breast cancer, you may be surprised to learn how little goes to the cause.
10 on Your Side, Stephanie Harris looked into the money trail and why one group is calling for change. Steph?
Well, many people look for these pink labels. They may even pay a little more for the brand that has one. But did you know that, for instance, with this yogurt, you have to mail the lid back to the company or enter a code online? If you don't, Yoplait doesn't give a dime. Worse yet, one breast cancer group says some pink products may actually cause cancer. When you're looking at pink products, how do you know which ones to choose? The watchdog group Breast Cancer Action told 10 on Your Side there are several critical questions to ask yourself. First, does any money at all go to a breast cancer organization? And if so, how much?
Each pink ribbon product should publicly display how much is going to be donated to a breast cancer organization, if any money at all, which breast cancer organization is going to receive the money, and what they're going to do with that money.
Executive Director Karuna Jagger warns when considering pricier products, ask the company if there's a cap on how much they'll contribute.
So I know that in 2010, Reebok was selling these apparel and shoes with pink ribbons, and the cap that they used was $750,000. It sounds like a lot of money. The issue for the consumer is that there's no way to tell when that cap has been met.
Finally, and this may take some research, find out if the product poses a health risk, something the group calls pink washing. This perfume, commissioned by Susan G. Komen, is at the top of their hit list this year.
So we are urging Komen to recall this perfume, to take every precaution to ensure that women are safe.
Jagger said that an independent lab study showed that Promise Me, this perfume, contains toxic and hazardous chemicals, some that are known hormone disruptors. I contacted Susan G. Komen and received a statement which said basically that safety is their #1 concern and that the company responsible for making the perfume, TPR Holdings, assured them it was tested and that it contains no cancer-causing agents. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.
And how about this? Breast cancer advocates say when in doubt, make your contribution directly to the charity.
Now, in high definition, your Super Dot for 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
And a look at what's going on into the area as far as rainfall. Not all that much right now for most of us. We have seen some light spritzy rain during the afternoon hours. Let's have a look at what's going on right now into the area. We got several waves that are out there. The biggest rain has been across the Outer Banks, and we'll show you some rainfall amounts in just a couple of minutes. But you'll note a couple of linear areas, one right on into here. You can see the lines of rain moving through the Outer Banks. Most of those out to sea right now. But you'll also notice that there's another area farther to the southwest for which there's a tornado warning. It's not in our area whatsoever. It's east of Charlotte, North Carolina, and again, that area is moving northeastward. But this will be kind of the last hurrah of thunderstorms, showers moving on through a little bit later on tonight. Chances are that they'll weaken considerably by the time they get anywhere near our part of the world, and it's going to be well after dark. It'll likely be toward the midnight hour before it moves on through. Now, we have seen some rainfall into the area. These are rainfall estimates, and they're based on rainfall per hour in terms of what the radar itself is doing. And I've looked around, and I think it's not vastly, but considerably underdoing how much rain there really did fall throughout some of these areas. In fact, we've seen as much as 4 inches of rain across parts of Hatteras Island. We move up a little bit on into eastern North Carolina. I think these likely are closer to around 1.5 inches as we move through some of these darker green areas into the Franklin area, on up toward Windsor, into Isle of Wight County, and even toward parts of the peninsula. Fort Eustis has reported over 1 inch of rainfall earlier. A little bit of a gap in the middle where we didn't see nearly as much rain. A little bit heavier rain across parts of Virginia Beach as well, as much as 1 inch or so of rain here. And then we move on up northward, and not all that much over the eastern shore. A little bit more of a general rain going on across the middle peninsula and the northern neck. But everybody had at least some rainfall during the past 24 hours, and we could still see some more rainfall moving on through. But here's our big story. Cooler air later. We had a little bit of a coastal low lift on northward. There's our rain from this morning all the way on up into New England. This thing is going to spin on through a shot of cooler air. It's going to drop on through a little bit later on tonight toward midnight. As a matter of fact, it's right about into here at midnight, and it will pop on through with some drier air, put an end to the rainfall moving on through the region during the evening hours. Now, we take a closer look at what's going on for our area. And again, you can see the rainfall. The bulk of the rain is lifted on off to the north, or it's out to sea, but we are still seeing some rainfall into the area, and we'll likely see that move on through by midnight, and then our skies begin to clear on off. There's where things are during the day tomorrow. Noon hour, 10 to 15 mile-an-hour winds, some cloud cover during the afternoon. There's where we are by Friday. We're looking at sunshine, then some late-day clouds again into the area, and right now we've got skies which are mostly cloudy or totally cloudy throughout the area. Temperatures mostly into the mid-70s right now, and tomorrow they'll likely be about 10 degrees cooler than that, 8-10 degrees cooler. A little bit of afternoon cloud cover. Temperatures into the 60s for 6 out of the next 7 days. And as far as rainfall, not looking real likely, except for a few showers during the evening hours.
All right, they're designed to protect you and your money, but new credit card rules might not help you. Here what the bank should be doing to help.
Then the latest on the listeria outbreak linked to cantaloupe. What officials now believe caused the bacteria that killed 25 people. That's new at 5:30. Ted is on your side with the consumer alert. New credit card rules are designed to help you understand what you're paying for, but they could hurt you. Stay-at-home spouses can no longer claim household income when applying for a credit card. Credit card companies can no longer market to college students on campus. Students cannot use household income when applying for a card. The new credit card rules also make it harder for banks to raise a promised rate.
The most important thing that I could advise any consumer, now that we have this new CARD Act as law, is read your mail, because typically that's the only obligation that the credit card company has to tell you about changes. In many cases, good changes that you're going to want to take advantage of.
The rules also require banks to print on every bill what happens if you pay only the minimum balance, the interest accrued, and how long it will take you to pay off the balance.
It's a catalog for people with really big budgets. We're going to take you inside the pages, Nicole, of the new Neiman Marcus Christmas book and show you extravagant gifts inside. What else would there be, right? There's a tax refund scam promising help with a tax return to get a big check. And new at 5:30, we're on your side with what you need to know to avoid being the next victim.
Was I telling you about the personal shopper?
Yes.
That's great.
That would be a great idea.
Not yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Thank you.
I see.
Here.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay.
No, that's my mic check.
So. Let's do it. We're going to do this.
Who do we talk to about getting this cable extended? I have no idea. Okay, thanks.
A Virginia Beach couple hit the lottery playing President Obama's birthday. Simone Christian dreamed she had a chat with the president, so she bought 2 tickets at the Independent Shell. She played his birthday, August 4th, 1961. The winning numbers for Saturday night's Cash 5 drawing were 146819. Simone and her husband Stanley won $200,000. They don't know yet what they're going to do with that money. And you know what? This isn't the first time they won playing Cash 5. They won $100,000 in 2006.
Lucky duck.
Yes.
Maybe 3's the charm. And how about this? They might like this catalog. You might not be able to afford it, but it's fun to see what's out there. Neiman Marcus out with its Christmas book, and among the gifts, the Dream Folly. It's the female equivalent to a man cave, decked out with a crystal chandelier, plush pillows, and sofas. That'll cost you a mere $75,000. Why do I think there are guys who would like that cave too? But for the men, how about a $250,000 speedboat, a special edition that comes with gold leaf waterline and underwater lighting? And the 2012 Ferrari FF is completely custom made, $395 grand. If you buy one, you get free driving lessons in Aspen. You'll need it. Neiman Marcus will also throw in luggage and 7 years of free maintenance. Ferraris are not cheap to keep on the road. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.